Valentine's point to a great vacation.
Okay, it's day 10 of the trip. We just left Salem. We did a lot of stuff yesterday. I'll say that I do like the attractions in Salem. It's like the historical stuff I'm not as big on, mainly because they're very short. Like, it's not that I'm not interested in the witch history and everything. Like, it is interesting, but the attractions are very short for what you pay for. But the walkthroughs were very good, and the Witchboard Museum was very good. The town itself has like a very, I can't, for lack of a better word, like gentrified feel about it. Like, it's not as historic, like the town itself doesn't have as many old buildings as I was expecting. I don't know, I was like kind of expecting Salem to be sort of like St. Augustine or something, because it is an old city and everything, but it's not, I don't know if it's not that they didn't preserve the old buildings, but I guess maybe a lot of the old buildings just aren't there anymore. But it just has that like downtown big city feel about it, which I wasn't expecting, and I'm not like a big fan of that. I don't really care for places where like the majority of things are like coffee shops and stores that sell things I don't care about and things like that. There are like some cool shops here and there, and I think like most of the attractions are good or decent enough, but like the older ones, I feel like they could be a little bit better. The walkthroughs are very short, and here's my biggest problem with the attractions, with a lot of the attractions there. They don't allow you to film, so that's a big deal for me, mainly because, not just because I want to get the content for the channel, but because like I just feel like being able to document things is like a big part of the experience of traveling. Like, I'm all about like looking for, like when I'm like looking or researching an old attraction that's defunct or not around anymore, I like the fact that I can dig into like the archives of YouTube or archive.org or anywhere where there would be old home videos, and then I can experience as far as you can possibly experience something that doesn't exist anymore. I can watch the home video that somebody made. But if there's all these places now that aren't allowing people to document these attractions and stuff, and then they go out of business at one point or whatever, nobody will ever be able to see these attractions again. So there's that. And then I just feel like whenever I'm told that I can't film, I get this like feeling of animosity from the people that run the business, like, oh, you're like infringing on my right to tell you that you can't film or something. Like, I just get that vibe every time, and it just leaves me feeling like some of those places don't have a good public relations, like they're not good at dealing with the public, because a lot of those places will just flat out say, we strictly prohibit photos or filming of any kind or whatever, like, and then you just feel like, oh, you're like excluding a large percentage of your customer base, which does, first of all, that doesn't make sense to me, and then second of all, the whole idea of not allowing people to film because you assume that that's going to affect your business somehow, I feel is very like antiquated, or like, and that it was always like misguided in the first place, because I don't feel like there's ever been legit market research done on this. Like, I could be wrong, but I highly doubt there's ever been any legitimate research done on whether or not videos of a place being out there is somehow affecting the bottom line of these attractions.
I'm not sure it's so much that as a few of them like to keep certain things or parts of things not on film, so that when people go, it's a surprise.
Well, they say that.
I relate to that because whenever you show me dark ride videos, I intentionally will not watch some of them because I want to keep the element of surprise if we're going to one that we haven't been to before, and I like those a lot. So sometimes, I mean, we watch so many of them that I won't remember like specific stunts and stuff, but I like
continue on to I-95 South.
I want the jump scare, so I will purposefully like not look at that. So for some of the museums that want to keep like the exhibits or whatever like a surprise to the guests, I understand that, but I do understand you're also like cutting out people that could be getting you more publicity, so it's like a double-edged sword type of thing, I think, but I can understand why both would say that.
I would agree with that sentiment. However, like, I feel like if that's the argument they want to make, that's up to the person who chooses whether or not to watch the video. You know, like, to say that we're just gonna not allow anyone to, you know, document this attraction, I feel like that's just an excuse that they're using to like not sound too I don't know, like overzealous or something. Like, they don't want people to think, you're just doing that because you're worried about your bottom line or something, or that, like, I feel like a lot of people maybe don't actually even rationalize it. They just want to have a rule, because there's a lot of people who just want like control over things, and like I just feel like a lot of these, because it just seems that way, it just seems that they're like, oh, it's my business, I make the rules, I have a hunch that you having the videos up are gonna somehow affect how many people buy tickets to my place, so therefore I'm just gonna make this blanket rule, and I'm gonna say nobody's allowed to film here, and it's my place, my rules, my business, whatever. And that's fine, you know, like, you can do that. You have a right to say that. But I also have a right to criticize you for it. And so I feel like allowing people to document things is like part of preservation of attractions and everything. So, especially with these older attractions that probably weren't actually owned by the current owners the entire existence of it, and then somebody comes along and buys this, you know, old attraction, and then they're like, well, I'm gonna say that people aren't allowed to come here. You know, like, for example, the Witch Dungeon Museum. We did go to that because I thought you could film, and they told me that I couldn't, so that's an old attraction. I highly doubt the current owners have always been the owners of that. That's a very old pet. And like, to just tell people, I'm gonna buy this place and tell people that they can't actively preserve it through video or whatever, is like, to me, that's something that's worthy of boycotting their business. Well, I'm just saying, that's an example. There's other places like that out there, you know? Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like that place really needed to be that. But I do respect, like, the history of some of these attractions, even if I don't think they're that great. I still think they should be recognized historically, you know? So
Yeah, that was maybe we should get another location. So it wasn't even like the actual building.
yeah, it was a recreation.
The tour guide was like bored or something. He was also being extremely loud where it was actually hurting my ears because
While we're
it was reverberating.
yeah, and while we're talking about that place, one thing that rubbed me the wrong way about that place was that when you went into, when you bought your tickets, they told you everyone has to wait in the gift shop. So you go in there and you're in the gift shop, and there's probably like 40 plus. The gift shop's really small, and they're cramming everyone into this gift shop, and it's like uncomfortably crowded in there. And we stepped out of the gift shop for like 5 seconds, and the woman at the register is like, "You guys need to get in the gift shop." And I know the reason why they do that is that they want you to buy stuff in the gift shop. So they're like forcing everyone to stand around in the gift shop because they want people to be in there buying stuff. When they could have just let people into the main, they have like the courtroom area where you can sit down and stuff. They could have just let everyone in there as soon as you buy your tickets, but they want you to feel obligated to buy souvenirs, so they force and then they're rude about it. So, you know, these places that don't allow you to film, I find that oftentimes you get treated rudely in other ways at these places too. So it's kind of like like when people have that sentiment that I'm going to tell you can't film because it's my business and I make the rules. That's a red flag right away that these are going to be probably rude people, and like, I don't want to give people that are like that my business. So
I didn't necessarily think that one was worth the admission because it was a little pricier, and then maybe it would be better with a better tour guide. And I know everyone has to learn, but it was wasn't it weird?
yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna fault the tour guide for the attraction itself. Like,
No, that's not what I'm saying.
yeah,
I
no,
think it would have been a better experience with like maybe a more I don't know.
well, the main part of the attraction is that they're reenacting the trial, but the people that they had doing the reenactment weren't great actors. Let's just be honest.
I would expect that.
Yeah.
I kind of would expect that.
I think that just like from experiencing that, like that gave me an idea of what probably most of the historical attractions are like there. Okay, we're gonna check out a Salvation Army and then I'll get back to you for the rest of the review. Okay, so there's a bunch of these cool signs and old restaurant building things on Route 1 in Saugus, Massachusetts, and this is one of them. It's the Prince Pizzeria. They got this Leaning Tower of Pisa thing. Looks like an older restaurant too, so it's pretty cool. Okay, check out this sign. Now that's a roadside sign. It's even bigger in person than it looks in pictures and stuff. That's awesome though. I think this used to be a steakhouse, I'm not sure. But it's cool that they kept it here and repurposed it for all the businesses here instead of just tearing it down and putting up a completely modern sign. Yeah, that's one of the biggest vintage signs I think I've ever seen. Really cool. This sign is right on Route 1 north of Boston in Saugus, Massachusetts. Okay, we're going into this awesome Asian restaurant, Kowloon. This has been here since like the 50s or 60s. They got this awesome Polynesian style building. And it just looks like a really cool place to eat, so we're gonna get lunch here. Check out the decor inside. It's like Polynesian themed, and they got like a boat here, and then there's like water over here, and it's really cool inside. Check out this thing in the middle here. And they got like another dining room area over there. Thank you. Thank you. Oh yeah, Hong Kong bar, themed bar. Oh, the tiki seats, that's cool. And they have comedy nights here every Friday and Saturday night. That's cool. And they have a cool old sign out here. Yeah, this place has been here for a while. Kowloon Restaurant, Saugus, Massachusetts. Yeah, the food was really good. It's a little bit pricey, but very good Chinese food. We came here for lunch. I think it might be a little bit pricier for dinner, but they do have the comedy nights and stuff on the weekends. So, yeah, this building. It's probably one of the coolest Asian restaurants I've ever been to. Okay, so we just had lunch at the Kowloon Restaurant. That was one of the coolest Chinese restaurants I've ever been to. It really reminded me of those themed restaurants from the 90s, like Rainforest Cafe and like Kahunaville and places like that. It was a little pricey for Chinese food, but I guess you pay a premium for the ambiance or whatever. Okay, so now we're heading down to Boston. We're going to check out the Museum of Bad Art, which did just change locations last year, so I don't think it's as big as it used to be. They moved all of the stuff to a brewery, so I don't think it's like a full museum anymore. I think they basically just took all the stuff and put it on the walls in the brewery, but we'll see when we get there. But it is free, so I mean, you can only be so disappointed in something that's free, right? And I want to do something in Boston while we're driving, since we're driving through Boston. So yeah, Salem is a good place to go. I mean, probably especially around Halloween if you want to get into the spirit and everything. I mean, all those attractions are open all year, but
I actually might go there. It's probably like way too busy.
yeah, I have heard that it gets really crowded there, like even in like what, September, like late September. So I'm sure like in the middle of October, the late October is probably crazy there. Yeah, it was busy when we were there, and we were here in late August, so it is like a really touristy place, so like expect that if you're gonna go there. Like, it's popular and it's touristy, so if you're not into like big crowds of people and you know, the big city vibes, then you know, don't go there. But I mean, if you want to go there and hit up the attractions, I think it's worth going there, even if that's just what you want to do. Or if you want to like stay there and like you know, do all, like hit up all the restaurants and coffee shops. There's a lot of coffee places to get coffee. There's a lot of you know, small restaurants and stuff like that. It's definitely like a place to go if that's what you like. If you're into going like downtown areas and like big cities, that's what it feels like. So I don't know why I wasn't expecting that. Like I don't know what I was expecting. I guess I was expecting
Preconceived idea.
Well, I guess that's with everything though, right? Like you get a preconceived idea of what a place is going to be like, and if it's not like what you were expecting, sometimes you can get disappointed. And I think that I was kind of disappointed in the vibes, because like I've been to places like St. Augustine, like historic tourist towns, where like it's a lot prettier, or like a lot more like relaxed vibes there. It's not like that there. It's more hustle and bustle and, you know, like city vibes. It's not like, oh, what's this kind of stuff? So yeah, don't think that I'm saying that Salem isn't worth going to. I definitely think that if you want to do the attractions there, but I personally wouldn't plan like multiple days there, because I think you can see and do most of the attractions in like one day like we did. So unless you're like planning a Halloween vacation or whatever, and then like we said, it's gonna be crowded there then, so just a heads up if you're planning on doing that. But and also, like, if you want to go there to film, like, don't expect to be able to do that at many other places. We did get to film the walkthroughs, so the two walkthroughs we did were the International Monster Museum and the Witch Mansion, and those two are owned by the same people, so you can get a combo ticket for those and save money. But there is another walkthrough called Count Orlok's, Nightmare Gallery.
I went to it.
She went there. Like I said earlier, I'm not going to support businesses that don't allow filming.
I really liked it. It was essentially, I compare it to a wax museum, because basically if you read the advertising out front, what you read is essentially what you're getting. So it wasn't too expensive, and basically it's just a bunch of figures, and they're all horror. It's not really any real historical ones, whereas the other one we went to, the Monster Museum, had like other mythological things and like things from folklore and stuff. Nightmare Gallery was essentially all horror, so it went from like Nosferatu and Universal Monsters through like modern horror, ending with like some pretty modern stuff like Stranger Things.
And that was more of like a wax museum, right? That was not.
Yeah, I was looking at them like very up close, because I thought that some of them were specifically scary looking. Like Nosferatu there actually like was really scary looking to me.
They have a really good like Salem's Lot vampire there, right? At the Count Orlok's. I thought I saw.
Yeah, and I was looking at it really closely, because at first I didn't know if like any of their stuff was maybe animatronic or like would actually scare me, like a jump scare, but none of it is. It's all sculptures, and I'm not sure if they're wax or not, or if they're just like very well sculpted, because some of them are extremely lifelike, which was cool to me. But basically it's all sculptures there, and a lot of info on like filming, and basically just like tidbits from behind the scenes filming on each movie. That's basically all that it is. And
but they're like very strict about not just filming but taking pictures there.
Yeah, I didn't do any of that.
If you read the Google reviews, there's a lot of people saying that they were actually like accosted, like yelled at and like kicked out for trying to take pictures.
Yeah, they're watching you the whole time.
Yeah. I don't know why they're so strict about it.
I wouldn't have even risked it. Like, why would I do that after I agreed not to?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the Monster Museum, they totally let you do it, and I got the vibes by reading the Google reviews that like they are in competition with each other, and I guess the Monster Museum, like whenever someone leaves a bad review, they're like, oh, this is the Count Orlok's guys leaving this review, like they want us to fail and stuff. So I don't know how much of that is true, but that comes from their own responses, like, so I don't know. But I did think that the Monster Museum was one of the better attractions in town. So, and the cool thing about that is you get the combo ticket for Witch's Mansion, which the entrance to that is like on the main street. What's that street called with the brick?
I don't know, I was calling it like the main street. street.
Yeah, the main street. You enter there, and then it takes you out into the Witch City Mall where the entrance to the Monster Museum is. So you basically just end that one and then start the other one. So you definitely want to get a combo ticket because each one is sort of short, but when you combine the two, I'd say that's a decent length walkthrough if you combine them. So yeah, I will have a vlog of those up on the channel at some point because
I liked both of them.
yeah, they were different. I mean, they weren't both just the same thing. Like the Witch Mansion was more of a focused on just like jump scares and like a typical walkthrough, and the Monster Museum was laid out more like an actual like wax museum, but it did have animatronics and jump scares too. So, you know, I think that's what would make me prefer that over the Count Orlocks, and one of the reasons I didn't want to bother with Count Orlocks.
Well, I liked that one too. I'd say like they were that and the Monster Museum were like basically both just as good to me, but they're both just different. And it's good that they're not completely like ripping each other off. Like they both offer different things, and for people who are into stuff like this, like we are, like you want to do as many of that kind of thing as you can.
I just think it's like interesting how they have like these rivalries between the businesses there. Like, it creates like a competition where they have to try to outdo each other, which is good.
I need
Always good for the.
155.
Oh, we're actually like going into Boston now, so we need to get our toll money together here.
You're saying hustle and bustle of the city. It was nothing like this.
Yeah, this Boston's like a really big
Well, I
city.
feel like the way that you said that made it sound like New York, and it was really not like anywhere on the scale of New York.
I'm not saying it was on the same scale as New York. I was saying like,
More urban
yeah,
than
and
you expected.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like what there was there to offer was similar to, you know, Brooklyn or something like that.
Yeah.
At the Museum of Bad Art. This is like in the Dorchester Brewing Company. I think they moved locations. They were just, I think like up the street somewhere else in Boston. Now they're here. I think it's interesting. Like bad art is kind of subjective, so like whoever curates this is the one who decides what's good and what's bad. I mean, some of these aren't like terrible. Like I think that's kind of cool. The milkmaid, and they just have everything like all around the brewery here. President Kennedy eating ice cream. That reminds me of the picture of Joe Biden eating ice cream. Dog with flag. My three sons. Fred McMurray. Like that's the guy from My Three Sons. But it's like actually sons. There's one that's like someone spewing a Rubik's Cube. Or are they eating the Rubik's Cube? I'm not sure if it's coming in or going out. Flaming hot cheerleaders. What the heck? Out of body experience. Oh, you're good, you're good. I like this one up here with like the Rubik's Cube like coming out of them. Like, are they eating the Rubik's Cube or like throwing it up? Most of these just say like anonymous, like they don't know who actually like painted them. Like where did they find these, right? Like, cause a lot of them.
That's where they're from.
No, a lot of them will say like anonymous, like the ones that just say that.
Said it was from a thrift store.
Yeah. So like some of these are just ones that people found at like Goodwills and thrift stores and stuff. Like that's kind of cool, I think.
I wouldn't even say that's bad.
Yeah, like some of them I wouldn't call like actually bad. Yeah. Like I was saying earlier, I was like, it's kind of like a subjective thing to call something bad art. So like, whoever's like curating them is the one who gets to decide. It's not like with like, you know, like fine art. Like there's pretty much a general consensus what's good art. You know what I'm saying? Like with this stuff, it's like you got like one person, like probably like one or two people saying this is bad, right? Spewing marshmallows. This one. Yeah, I know, but it's like the subject matter is so bizarre. That's what makes it bad art, I guess. I don't know. The damned guy.
I was gonna say they redid Matisse.
Yeah, modern Matisse or Madame Matisse. God omnipresence. That's an interesting one. Yeah, some of these aren't like that bad, really. say there was more upstairs?
I've seen that one with the poodles before. Like, do they have that one like still here or what? That's like the poster for it. Ways to like know.
Is this Hercules? Yeah. This is Steve. This is like Steve Reeve in the Hercules movies. I like those movies actually. Lovely hula girl. Waltz. Queen of the chocolate chip. More Jackie Kennedy stuff. They had a cool one when you first walk in. The pout. There's a cute kitten. How'd you get up there? Yeah, see how a lot of these just say purchased at a thrift shop in Boston. I guess the ones that are signed, then they can figure out where they came from, but if they aren't signed, then it's just like unknown who did it. It's like the person contacted them and said, yeah, that was my piece that I did. I actually like this one. New Year's bagel. Nikola Tesla eating lobster. Yeah, that was the Museum of Bad Art. It's just part of this Dorchester Brewing Company now. It was in a separate location before, but now they just moved all the stuff here. Dorchester Brewing Company in Boston.